I'm 51. Here is why I avoid people at this stage of life. Hey there. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the world is just a lot? Like every interaction, every phone call, every text feels like it's pulling a little bit of energy out of you? Yeah, me too. But here's the thing. At 51 years old, I've learned something that took me decades to figure out. Not all connections are worth keeping. And that realization, it changed my life. Don't get me wrong, this isn't about being bitter or jaded. It's about growth. It's about realizing that protecting your peace, your energy, and your sanity sometimes means stepping back and saying, you know what? I'm better off without this. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, avoiding people? Isn't that kind of harsh? But let me tell you, it's not about shutting everyone out. It's about creating space for what really matters. Over the years, I've discovered 6 powerful reasons why I avoid people now. And no, it's not because I don't care about others. In fact, it's because I've learned to care more about myself, my time, my energy, and my well-being. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by relationships or drained by interactions that don't serve you, stick around. I'm going to walk you through the lessons life taught me, the mistakes I made, and the clarity I found. By the end of this, you might just see the beauty in stepping back too. Let's dive in. Reason 1, protecting my peace. Let's start with the most important lesson I've learned over the years. Your peace is priceless. When I was younger, I thought being surrounded by people all the time was just normal. I thought that's what life was supposed to be. Birthday parties, endless coffee dates, meetings, and being everyone's go-to person. And while some of that was fun, it came with a cost I didn't even realize I was paying. You see, not everyone who's in your life is good for your life. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Not everyone in your life is good for your life. Some people carry negativity like it's a badge of honor. They'll unload their problems on you, complain about everything under the sun, and leave you feeling worse than when they found you. And here's the kicker. It's not always intentional. They might not even realize they're doing it, but their energy, it sticks to you. It follows you home, and it starts to chip away at your peace. For me, it started showing up in subtle ways, like feeling exhausted after spending time with certain people or dreading phone calls from friends I thought I cared about. It wasn't until my late 30s that I had a wake-up call. I remember coming home one day, dropping my bag on the floor and thinking, why am I so drained? What is wrong with me? And then it hit me. It wasn't me. It was the company I was keeping. Fast forward to now, and I've learned how to say no. I've learned to set boundaries, to choose my peace over pleasing others. And let me tell you, it's liberating. My home, my mind, my heart, they're quiet now, peaceful. So here's the takeaway. Don't be afraid to protect your peace. It's not selfish, it's necessary. The people who truly care about you will understand. And the ones who don't, well, they were never meant to stay anyway. Reason 2, prioritizing quality over quantity. Here's the thing about people. Not all relationships are created equal. When I was younger, I used to think the more friends I had, the better. It was like a badge of honor. How many people showed up at my birthday party? How many contacts I had in my phone? I thought that was what defined a full life. But as I've gotten older, I've realized something that changed everything. It's not about how many people are in your life. It's about the quality of the connections you have. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was going through a rough patch. You know, one of those times where everything feels heavy and you just need someone to lean on. I reached out to a few people who I thought were my closest friends, and guess what? Radio silence. They were too busy or couldn't talk right now. That was a turning point for me. I started paying attention to who was really there for me, not just when things were good, but when life got messy. And you know what I found? There were only a handful of people I could count on. It's a humbling realization, but it's also freeing. Because once you stop chasing quantity, you can focus on building deeper, more meaningful relationships. You stop spreading yourself thin, trying to please everyone, and start investing your energy into the people who truly matter. Now, I don't have a huge circle of friends, but the ones I do have, they're gold. They show up for me, and I show up for them. And that kind of connection, it's worth more than any big group or social circle could ever give me. So here's the takeaway. Prioritize quality over quantity. Don't be afraid to let go of relationships that feel one-sided or shallow. The fewer people you have around you, the more space you create for the ones who truly belong there. Reason 3. Outgrowing drama. Have you ever been in the middle of someone else's drama and thought, why am I even here? That used to be me. For years, I found myself caught up in other people's chaos. Friends arguing, coworkers gossiping, family members dragging me into their never-ending problems. It was exhausting, but I felt obligated to be involved. I thought it was my job to help, to mediate, to fix things. And honestly, I thought it made me a good person. But as time went on, I realized something. Being tangled up in drama doesn't make you kind. It just makes you tired. Here's the truth about drama. It thrives on attention. The more you feed it, the bigger it gets. And the people who bring drama into your life, they don't want solutions. They want an audience. They want someone to validate their chaos. It wasn't until my 40s that I finally had enough. I remember a particular moment when a friend called me crying about the same issue she'd been dealing with for years. It was like deja vu. We'd had this conversation a dozen times, and every time I offered advice, tried to help, and nothing changed. That day, something clicked. I realized I wasn't helping her. I was enabling her. By being her sounding board, I was giving her an excuse not to take action. And more importantly, I was draining my own energy in the process. Now, at 51, I don't do drama. If someone comes to me with chaos, I listen once, maybe twice. But if it becomes a pattern, I step back. Not because I don't care, but because I value my peace too much to let it be disrupted by someone else's mess. Here's the takeaway. Outgrowing drama doesn't mean you're cold or uncaring. It means you've learned to prioritize your emotional health. And the people who respect that boundary, they're the ones worth keeping in your life. Reason 4. Energy is a finite resource. Let's get real. Energy isn't infinite. And I don't just mean physical energy. I'm talking about emotional energy, mental energy, even spiritual energy. There's only so much of it to go around. When I was younger, I didn't think about this at all. I'd say yes to every invitation, take every phone call, and give 110% to everyone who asked for it. But you know what happens when you do that? You burn out. For a long time, I thought being tired all the time was normal. I thought feeling drained after a full day of socializing or helping others was just the cost of being a good person. But as I got older, I started to notice patterns. Certain people, certain situations, they didn't just tire me out. They completely drained me. It's like they had this invisible siphon pulling energy from me without ever giving anything back. And here's the hard part. Some of those people were close friends, even family members. So I had to make a choice. I started paying attention to how I felt after spending time with people. If I felt energized, happy, or at peace, I knew they were good for me. But if I felt drained, anxious, or overwhelmed, I knew it was time to reevaluate that relationship. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Now I treat my energy like a precious resource. I don't give it away to just anyone. I save it for the people, activities, and moments that truly matter. And the result? I feel lighter, freer, and more in control of my life. Here's the takeaway. Your energy is sacred. Don't waste it on people or situations that leave you feeling empty. Protect it, nurture it, and use it to build a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with who you are. Reason 5. Embracing self-discovery. Let me ask you a question. How often do you truly spend time alone, just with yourself? No phone, no distractions, no noise. For most of us, it's rare. And for a long time, it was rare for me too. But something happened in my 40s that changed my perspective. I realized that solitude isn't loneliness, it's an opportunity. When you're constantly surrounded by people, their opinions, and their expectations, it's easy to lose sight of who you really are. You start to mold yourself to fit what others want, what society expects, or what makes you feel accepted. But when you step back and embrace solitude, something magical happens. You start to hear your own voice again. For me, it started small. I began taking long walks by myself, leaving my phone at home. At first, it felt strange, almost uncomfortable. But as time went on, I started to enjoy it. Those walks became moments of clarity where I could reflect on my life, my choices, and what truly mattered to me. Solitude gave me the space to rediscover my passions, things I'd put on the back burner because I was too busy trying to keep up with everyone else. It helped me reconnect with my values, my dreams, and even the parts of myself I didn't like but needed to confront. Here's the thing. Self-discovery is a lifelong journey, and while other people can support you along the way, they can't do the work for you. Sometimes you need to step back from the noise, the distractions, and even the relationships that pull you in 1,000 different directions to truly find yourself. Now, I crave those quiet moments. They're not lonely, they're liberating. And the more I learn about myself, the more confident I feel in the choices I make, including the choice to avoid people when I need to. Here's the takeaway. Don't be afraid to spend time alone. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's where you'll find clarity, strength, and the truest version of yourself. Reason 6. Time is precious. It's the most valuable thing you have. When you're young, it feels endless, like you have all the time in the world to do everything, see everyone, and chase every opportunity. But as you get older, you start to realize just how finite it is. At 51, I've become painfully aware of how quickly time slips away. And you know what? It's made me a lot pickier about how I spend it and who I spend it with. I used to say yes to everything, social events, work obligations, even things I didn't really want to do, just because I felt like I should. But over time, I realized that every yes to something I didn't truly care about was a no to something I did. Now, I think of my time like a bank account. Every day, I get a limited amount of it, and once it's gone, I can't get it back. So I ask myself, is this worth spending my time on? Does this person, this event, this activity align with the life I want to live? And let me tell you, when you start viewing time this way, everything changes. You stop wasting hours on meaningless conversations, draining relationships, and obligations that don't serve you. You start focusing on what truly matters, whether that's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or just enjoying the quiet moments of life. At 51, I'm not interested in filler relationships or activities anymore. I want substance. I want meaning. And if that means avoiding people who don't align with that, so be it. Here's the takeaway. Your time is precious. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing to spend it in ways that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. Life is too short to waste on anything less. Conclusion. So here's the truth. Life is too short to spend it in ways that drain your energy, steal your peace, and pull you away from your true self. At 51, I've learned that avoiding people isn't about closing the door to the world. It's about opening the door to a life that feels lighter, calmer, and more aligned with who I really am. I didn't come to these realizations overnight. It took years of trial and error, heartbreak, and hard conversations with myself to understand what I truly needed. And you know what? Choosing to prioritize my well-being was the most freeing decision I've ever made. This isn't about giving up on people. It's about giving yourself permission to step away from what no longer serves you. Protect your peace. Invest in meaningful relationships. Let go of drama. Save your energy for what truly matters. And never stop discovering who you are. Because at the end of the day, your life is yours to live, and you deserve to live it fully and authentically. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Your time, your energy, and your peace are precious. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for protecting them. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt the need to step back from people or situations that no longer serve you? How did it change your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Until next time, take care of yourself, and don't forget, you're worth the peace you're protecting.